Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I am setting up my weekly check-in. I am a day late on this and I do apologize for that. But what I'm going to do is set up my weekly check-in budget, what I spent for the week, the balance, and set up week 2. I have over here what my weeks are broken down to and how I'm to spend throughout the weeks, and hopefully I stay within budget. It doesn't look like I'm going to. Some things are coming up and you'll see that in next week's budget and this week's budget, so it's just gonna be a little weird right now. Some expenses have been coming up, but I may have to pull from savings, which is fine. That's what it's there for. We had some plumbing happening in the house and I finally got my bathtub fixed, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, so if you want to hear more about this and see what the numbers look like and see where I'm over and where I'm under and what's going on, yeah, keep watching this video. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to check in with our calendar that I put all my transactions on for my weekly check-in. So this is the most common way I've seen YouTubers do a weekly check-in, is they have this transaction, each transaction put into the calendar, and they total it up and then they check for the week what they spent. I actually like it this way, but I also like doing it another way. I actually keep transaction logs. So if you don't want to do a calendar and you like a log and things like that, I do this. I just have my weekly budget, what my transactions are for the week, and then I put another break when the new budget is happening, and then I start working from there. So and I can keep track of it here, so you got a sneak peek of transactions and where my numbers are for this weekly check-in. So that's one way to weekly check-in, is through a transaction log like I have for my 4 categories here, or you can do it on a calendar and then total up at the end of the week. I like to know as I'm going, so that's why I keep a transaction log, but I also like videoing this because a lot of people prefer seeing it in this format. Excuse me, my squeaky chair. So anyway, and I already have a few things laid out for the upcoming weeks because I have HelloFresh subscriptions and they come out, the price, they charge me every Tuesday and I get a box every Saturday. Today is actually Saturday and they just delivered a box, so I'm really excited about that. My husband's getting it and getting it in the fridge for me, so yeah, that is really cool. So what I'm going to do is zoom you guys in, and we're going to start totaling this up, and then we'll do the weekly check-in page. So I will be right back. Okay, here we go. So these are my key. I use a highlighting method to highlight the corners of my expense stickers. Now, I normally use Ceremony stickers, but I started creating my own expense stickers, and I have a bigger white box here, and that shows the color a lot better. And the color of the sticker, the rest of the sticker matches and is part of the color scheme of my actual budget sheet. So I really like that cohesive look to it and just the little pops of color instead of a rainbow of colors all over my spread. So this I prefer. So that's what I have here. So the first one I have is grocery household. So I combine my groceries and my household items when I buy them at the same store. So that's why I combined the total I would spend on those 2 categories into one category. And those are represented in pink, and that's what we're going to start with first. I'm going to move my notebook just a little bit, and I'm going to use this sticky pad. This is just an Erin Condren sticky notepad, and it's a very long one, so I can get a lot of information on here. And I like to total up all the amounts by their categories. So grocery household, and I'll just kind of initial it GH, starts right here. So it's $10.24. I went to Food Lion, and then I happen to be at Target, and this is actually split between these 2 items, miscellaneous and this grocery was 1 Target purchase. It wasn't 2 Target purchases. I just split them so that the grocery part went to the grocery category and the miscellaneous went to the miscellaneous category. And the reason I do that is because of how I budget, and normally I would just total it all together if it's a small amount, but this time I decided to separate, and I'm okay. Typically I don't shop that way. I just happen to be at Target for a few other items, and then I'm like, oh, I need to grab this, and so I put down the $6.49. It doesn't include the tax, but that's okay. The tax is over here in this one. it all comes out in the end in the wash. So it doesn't really matter either way. It's a way for me to see true numbers on spending in specific categories. And that's what I'm really looking for. How much did I spend in groceries? So, and we did quite a bit of spending in groceries this time. I did some stocking up and household. So a lot of this was household. My son needed this hair product. It's green tree product, I think it's called, and it's for hair and body, and it's a pump, and it keeps the flakes in his hair really to a minimum and really helps him out. Green tea does really well in his hair, so I like he likes using that. And then I did a Walmart grocery pickup, $133.88. And then I needed some more items my family forgot to tell me about, so it's $47.24. And then that's mostly household. And then HelloFresh was, let's see, $63.28. And then let's come over here and another Walmart, another household run. See, the HelloFresh is right here. That's food. And then $21.76. And then I have one more grocery run here at Food Lion. Now, I do admit, because I go frequently and I am not organized with my shopping, I do spend more than what I should. And I'm like, oh, I want to pick up this random thing. Oh, I want to stock up on that thing. But for the most part, it works for me. And I don't go over too much. But at the same time, I kind of wish I could narrow down how I shop and just kind of do what I used to do when my husband was active duty. He only got paid twice a month. And I focused on the groceries I knew we would eat, and then I focused on what we needed for cleaning and not stocked up as much because we couldn't. We only got paid twice a month. So, but now with the first of the month checks and then every other Friday he gets paid, it seems to happen so frequently enough that I can shop this way. And so until I make any other decisions, that's just how it's going to be. So hopefully I can improve on that, but I just can't figure out how. I've tried writing things down. I've tried meal planning, which is my HelloFresh. That is 3 meals a week. That is definitely meal planned and brought to the house. And then my kids eat separate from us because they don't change their variety very often. They're pretty regimented on what they like and only what they like. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of end up fixing 2 meals at this all the time. But I've been doing that for years, and it's easy for me to do, and I've simplified it to where it's not that big a deal. So that's enough of me rambling on. I'm going to total this column up, and we're going to see how much I spent in grocery household. So this totaled to $378.92. Now, one thing I do know, and this is obviously $78.92 more than what I budgeted for, but what I do know, this amount here could have waited till Friday. But I've been having back pain and problems, and I went on this day because I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere on this day, and we had a lot going on. We had the plumber come by on Friday. We had haircuts on Friday. My stylist comes to our house and she cuts our hair and colors our hair here. So those things were happening. You won't see transactions of that because I keep cash on hand in the house to pay her. And then I wrote a check, and that will be in the unbudgeted, which I have not done. So now that I got the grocery household set up and how much it already costs, we're going to move on to restaurants. Now, I'm only checking in Friday the 30th from April 30th to the 6th of May. And that 7 days is what we're checking in for. I just follow the flow of the calendar when I do my check-in, regardless if the month before is part of it. I don't really care about that. So yeah, the 30th through the 6th. So that's what we're doing here. The next item is restaurants. So let's write that down. So Taco Bell was $17.26. Papa John's was $27.74. And then over here we had Simple Greek, which is a really nice restaurant. We like that. $27.64. And then let's see what we got. Another Taco Bell. We like our Taco Bell. Oh, I like my Taco Bell. My husband gets it with me because I want it, but and then got milkshakes for everybody at Chick-fil-A. $8.90. And then we actually had Chick-fil-A for dinner, which was $37.63. And then Taco Bell again, $17.92. And then Arby's. My husband got Arby's one day, and I just didn't want any Arby's. I think I was out with a friend that day, so that's why I wasn't getting any lunch out. So there is that. Now this restaurant and this plumber is actually for next week's check-in, so we're not going to work with that. Let's total these up. Okay, so I have $165.38. Not sure if I'm over here. I think I am. I just can't remember by how much. The next category we have is miscellaneous. Hopefully I have enough room for this. So we had Target for $37, $45. We have, I didn't have too many miscellaneous items, which was kind of nice. Which is good because my husband's actually taking my son shopping for I'm taking him for shoes. He's taking him shopping for pants and shorts for Trail Life, and yeah, they're excited about that, and for the summer. So Amazon was $20.61. So I returned the first playpen I bought to have at our house for some friends who just had some babies. And so when they're visiting, they can have a place to put the baby, and if they need a nap or whatever. But when I returned it, the money went back to Amazon. It didn't go back in my checking account, which was fine because I still wanted a playpen, and I ordered a Graco one instead of the cheaper one. And it was only a $20.61 difference, and so that's all I had to pay. And then here I ordered Etsy, and I ordered some Cleveland Browns graphics to make a cash envelope for my son, which was kind of fun. And he really liked it and everything. So yeah, laminated it and everything. He wanted to put some cash away, but he wanted one place to put it in that wasn't his wallet, and he didn't want to carry it around. So I made a little cash envelope. So, and he's a Cleveland Browns fan. I mean, huge fan, because his room's paid at Cleveland Browns. He's got one of the old Cleveland Browns football players, Tim Couch, who was a UK player as well, University of Kentucky football player. So, and my husband's from Kentucky, so all these tie back together, and it's just so cute the way he loves all that stuff. Miscellaneous $37.45 plus $20.61 plus $3.59, and that was $61.65. And there are no gas charges, so I got it all fit on here. So now what I do, now that I know my totals for each of the categories, I come over here to my weekly check-in. Now here's the amount for week 1. It was going to be, and I'll write it to the side here, 300, 162.50, 137.50, and 62.50. Now, if I don't use anything in a category, I just balance it forward to the next week. So you're going to see these numbers, and I'm going to go ahead and set up and take out my budget sheet. So I love having a ring system, so I'm just going to pop out my weekly check-in. There we go. And we are going to set this up. So, okay, here we go. So I know my budget for grocery household was overspent. It was $300 even. Restaurants were $162.50. Miscellaneous was $137.50. I know I did not go over in that, and I know I didn't use any gas, $62.50. So these two, whatever's left over, will bounce forward to week 2. And but I did have to borrow from week 2 to cover the cost of what I spent in week 1. Now, the reason I kind of borrow from the next week is because week 1 and week 2 are one paycheck period. So my paycheck to paycheck budget shows that my grocery household is $500. Well, I budgeted $300 for this week and $200 for this week because I spend heavier on the first of the month than I do, first week of the month than I do the next consecutive weeks. So that's how I know the trends of how I spend, which is why it's so important to go ahead and write out your transactions to see how you actually spend. That knowledge can save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in the future and put you in a financial position that you didn't expect before. So yeah, that's really, really important. Now I am budget $0 here. We didn't have any budgeted this week, but I will have unbudgeted here next week. So, and I'm just going to draw a line here. So that was fine. So here we go. 378.92 was spent there. 165.38, and then 61.65, and then 0. So I still have 62.50 here. Let's see what the other categories have. So I'm going to start here at the top. I overspent, and I don't even need a calculator for this. If I take 300 away from that, it's going to be a negative 78.92. Again, I bought a lot of stuff on Thursday. I could have waited till Friday when I refreshed the budget and added more money to it, but that's okay. It is what it is. I knew I was going to be busy on Friday and couldn't get it, so I got it on Thursday. So here I'm over just by a few dollars. So 162.50 minus the 165.38 gives me a negative $2.88. So a little bit, just a touch over budget, not too bad. I'm gonna write that 8 again because it's very sloppy. Oops. There we go. Okay. And then I have plenty of money left over miscellaneous, which is good because my husband's going shopping with my son, and I also got to take him shopping for shoes. Don't ask me why we can't do both at the same time. It's just my son can only go out in specific increments, and my husband doesn't like shopping either, but they're going to one of my husband's favorite stores. So he's able to shop a little bit longer there, but with my back hurting today, I can't go with him. So we had $75.85 left over. So let's see how this balances out. For the spending categories total, we're going to total the budget. We're going to total how much was spent and what's the balance left over. So this will tell me, if I combined all these categories together, how much I had available for the week. So that was 300 plus 162.50 plus 137.50 plus 62.50. So I ended up with $662.50 available for all 4 categories. Now, I didn't spend all of that, so which is good news. But I did go over individually in categories, but not for the entire week, which is fine. 378.92 plus 165.38 plus 61.65. All right, so I only spent $605.95. All right, so now we're going to come over here, total up and down, and then we'll do the math across. Let's see, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up because the bottom numbers are positive, and then I'll do the negative. So 62.50 plus the 75.85 minus the 288 minus the 78.92. So that left us $56.55. Now if I add $56.55 to the $605.95, I should get the $662.50. So check and check. My numbers are correct. For the whole week, I was fine. I give myself a check. But for the individual categories, I was only 50% on target. So, but I had the cash for week 2 already in the bank, which means whatever I went negative here, I just borrowed from this week 2 because the cash was already there. I didn't have to go borrow from our savings or buffer or anything like that. Though my week 2 will borrow from the buffer, or not borrow, but would pay for unbudgeted out of the buffer, which is above and beyond what I plan to spend for the month. So now we need to take our totals. Now these numbers don't change this month because it's a 4-week month. And so these numbers stay the same. So I have budgeted, actually no, the grocery household does change. Let me show you my numbers. Because I did 500 for grocery household for the first half of the month. So week 2, I have 200, 162.50, 137.50, and 62.50 for gas. So that's what week 2 looks like. Different from week 1 was grocery household was 300, and that was 200 to make the 500 for the entire paycheck period. So those are the balances I'm moving. I'm going to take that 200. It's not going to give me a lot left, but it's going to give me enough. 200 minus 78.92 here. And I'm going to balance forward 121.08 as my budget. Hopefully next week I can keep it within that budget. I know it's going to be hard because I'm going to just round up to $64. $64 is going to go to HelloFresh, which leaves me $57 next week. So if I don't spend on grocery household next week, I should be fine. Hopefully I have enough to stay within this $57 budget, but I don't know. We will have to wait and see. Let's see, restaurants. I was, let's see, I'm doing 162.50. I'm going to subtract the 288 I was over. So this gives me 159.62. And that will be what my new balance is in the budget going forward. I might use some of this to buy groceries with. I am not sure yet. Instead of restaurants, we will have to wait and see. Let's see, what's next? 137.50 for restaurants. And I'm going to add the 75.85. And that will give me $213.35, which is a healthy amount to cover clothing that my son needs for the warmer months coming up in the summer. Let's see, gasoline was $62.50 and $62.50 here. And that gives us $125. I don't think we'll spend all of it, though our state of Virginia is opening up. We have less than 1,000 cases a day, and it's dropping. I think we're in the hundreds range as far as new cases a day. We've been that way for a couple weeks now, I think, or at least a week for sure. And the governor is going to be opening everything up 100%, but the mask mandate does stay in place. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer to see how things work out. We might do travel more. We might go out places more. I'm not sure. So let's total all these things up. 121.08 plus 159.62, 213.35, and 125. All right, so budget is always 0, and the total here is $619.05. And that's going to be a reach, even though we only did $605 this past week. Because of the clothing purchase, I think we're going to, because of the groceries, we're going to have to, we might reach this mark and we might go past this mark. I don't know. So I have to wait and see. So let me zoom you guys out and we'll close out this video. Okay, that is it. This is my weekly check-in. Everything looks good. What I did not do, and I forgot to do, and I tend to forget every time, is check it off on my calendar. There we go. Put little check marks on everything. I know I wrote everything out, and that's where I left off. Obviously, I did not do Fridays because Friday is not part of this weekly check-in, but the rest of them were. So yeah, so this is my weekly check-in. Everything looks great. Hopefully next week we can squeak by with 21905 or 61905 and cover everything for the week. I think we'll make it because of the gas budget. I might need to fill up my tank, and my husband might need to fill up his tank, but it won't take 125 unless the gas prices have gone up astronomically again. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. It's a crazy time right now. Things are adjusting, things are changing, and yeah, everything is either going up or down. So that's what's going on. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.